Inconsistent results will happen in your mediumship, especially in the beginning, or in early days. It can happen later for different reasons, but I'm going to talk about it in the beginning. They might apply later as well. I have to say that mediumship, I want to remind you, evolves over time. The first couple of years that I was doing this is when I changed the most. It was constantly changing how I was getting and interpreting stuff. And then it sort of leveled out after a couple of years. So this thing, it will always change and improve. It's still improving for me and changing, but it's not big dramatic shifts. It's like more like little tweaks to how I get stuff or how I understand information that they're giving me. So if you are getting inconsistent results, no matter how long you've been doing this, the first thing I would suggest is asking yourself, are you being consistent in how you prepare for a reading? Because especially with circles, practice circles, there can be a social aspect to them, and which is fine. But I've caught myself not treating them necessarily as seriously as a reading for a client. And so, you go like, oh, I've got 2 minutes, I got to log in, and you rush to it, as opposed to treating everything as though you have a paying client and taking the time to prepare and do whatever it is you do before doing a reading. I would say the more consistent you are in your preparation, the more consistent your results will be. And then the other reasons, in no particular order, I was just making notes for this video, is when I've seen people get inconsistent results, or when they complain in a circle about, oh, I'm trying something, whatever, it's when they're trying to do things in a way that is not natural to them. They're trying to copy another medium, usually one who's famous, usually one who's had a lot of success doing mediumship their way. And that's usually in a mentorship situation, and that's fine to try things like new people. I mean, that's how you change and grow, but shoehorning your way into someone else's way of doing mediumship, I think, is always going to be problematic. And it is good to try new ways. It is good to have teachers and try their way of doing things. But at the end of the day, I really think we all have to do mediumship the way that is most natural to each of us individually. It is a very individual thing. There is no one right way to do mediumship. I would also suggest deliberately turning on and off, deliberately turning on and doing that preparation. Okay, I'm going to sit down for a reading. And then when you're done, deliberately turn off or shut down, because I do that, but I still will be out in public. I was just at the pharmacy the other day. I was waiting behind a woman, and all of a sudden I could feel somebody with me. And I didn't know if it was for the person in front of me or for the pharmacist or whoever was going to help me, but I just said, I'm not working right now. And I think that's an important relationship to develop with people in spirit, just to do that. I'm not reading right now. For me, that helps me trust a little more easily. When I do sit down, I do deliberately open up to trust what I'm getting. So it's just something I do. I've heard other people do that, and it seems to work for us, all of us that do that. My biggest issue in the beginning with my inconsistent results, my first couple of years, was I would feel a connection, or I knew I was connected, but I wasn't really getting anything. And I would say, I can feel you, but I'm not getting any specific information. It was Charlie Kelly, the medium Charlie Kelly, who really helped me with that. He really put it into my head that somebody is always there for your client. Always. People in spirit are always constantly ready and there to communicate. So there's somebody there, and it's you. You're getting in your own way if you can feel someone or feel that you are connected, but you're not getting any information. And I've said this in other videos. For me, that was concerned about, being correct or even being impressive or getting it right, instead of just being the conduit for information. I have to say, in the beginning, especially if you would call yourself a developing medium and not a professional medium, that you dwelling on negative when you're learning any new skill, whether it's mediumship or something else, is a bad thing. And in fact, dwelling on the positive is really helpful. So call it learning a musical instrument or learning mediumship. The more you dwell on how well things are going, that helps your self-confidence. It helps your energy, your attitude toward the new skill. So I keep a spreadsheet. I strongly suggest you keep some kind of notes on all of your readings and highlight in some way the ones that went really well and review those, especially in the beginning before you go into to do a reading or practice circle. Review the notes of the ones that went well, just to remind yourself so that you can feel it in your gut and not just understand intellectually, A, that you can do this, and B, that you can do it well. So dwell on the positives. That's really important for any new skill. Trust is a really big factor. And the more you do this, the more you will trust what people are giving you. Just relax. And I have to say, it's going back to worrying about looking silly or getting no's or looking bad or getting it wrong. That's making it about you. And mediumship is not about you. It's about you being a conduit for someone in spirit to communicate with somebody here, not about you. It's about the information that you are conveying, or that's information that's being conveyed through you. Let me put it that way, instead of not even saying that you're conveying, it's information that's being conveyed through you. Don't make it about yourself. Don't worry about comparing yourself to other people, or even how well you're doing it. Try to do your best. Give it your best effort. Relax as much as you can. Be playful about it. But remember, at the end of the day, it's about information being conveyed through you. And it's not about how you look or how well you do it or anything about you. Next week, I'm going to talk about the fact that people in spirit will never, ever tried to scare you, even if you've had a scary experience. That was not their intent. I've heard a lot of different things about that. So I'm going to talk about that next week. Until then, leave your questions or comments below. And thank you for watching this time.